Hey everyone, Magic Man's got 40k here. Today I want to talk about Total War Warhammer 3. This is going to be my thoughts on the game, single player campaign. So I had never played a Total War game before, and I don't really know the story of this universe. I know a lot of Warhammer 40k, but I never really dived into Warhammer like fantasy. So I don't really know the characters, I don't really know this world, I don't know Total War, and I just want to dive into it and give it a go. I wanted to play this because I started to like 4X games. 4X games are pretty fun, and it's Warhammer. You know, when you see these images, it just screams, play it, right? When I saw these images, I was like, wow, I gotta play this game. This looks awesome. So yeah, it was really these pictures here that sold me on the game. So I wanted to talk about it. So I started playing this game, I think 2 weeks ago, and I just wanted to give you guys my thoughts. I will tell you guys now, I'm not feeling too well. I haven't felt well in a while. So I'll try to make this quick. Alright, so first thing I want to talk about is I haven't made a video in 10 days. That's because I've just been playing this and trying to get the achievements. So the plan for me, I want to give everyone a go. So if you look here, look at all these guys you can pick, right? Look at all these guys you can pick, right? I want to give all of them a go. Maybe 10 minutes, maybe 5 hours, who knows? But yeah, I want to give each of these guys a go. And then you have this, which is even crazier.
In the name of Magnus.
So this is like twice as many guys you can pick from, and I wanted to give each one a go and do some achievement farming, basically. So that was my plan. I just wanted to give all this. I wanted to try all of them once. That was basically the plan for me, and get some achievements. Alright, so I haven't made a video in a while because I've just been playing this game over and over again. And I will tell you now, so something I want to talk about is each story mode takes about 100 turns, and each turn is like 10 minutes or so. Now these battles can last like a half hour or more. They can easily reach in the 20 minutes. Half-hour range. So if you battle and then have these 10-minute turns. So right now I clocked in at about 160 hours, give or take. And what I wanted to do was be fancy. I wanted to start a new story and beat it in one go. And that would take like 3 to 4 hours or something like that. And I've been playing this game all week, and I want to say a couple things. So first, I actually don't recommend that. My hand and my body has just been sore from really, I guess, sitting for a long time and playing this game. Those half-hour battles take a lot out of you, so my hand's pretty sore, which is funny because I play Dawn of War Soulstorm all the time, and that's a very fast game. I have about I have about 50 actions per minute when it comes to Soulstorm, and that never hurt my hand clicking that fast. But this game actually hurt my hand, which is interesting. Now, I would say that's my fault. I'm not going to blame the game for that. Another thing I want to talk about is everything. Sorry. Let me try that again. It's like 10 a.m., so I just got up, and I'm not feeling too great. Anyways, I want to make a video because I want to share my thoughts on this game. I know it's really popular. I know it's really big. It's a really popular, like, whatever. So the second thing I want to talk about is every time I turn this game on, my computer, like, really freaks out. And it never did that before. It's, like, making these really loud noises. And I can play, like, any modern game, and it never does that. Well, actually, what was it, World of Warcraft? There was like this really ugly game, like a Flash free game. I forget what it was, but there was this free game that looked pretty bad. It looked like Pac-Man or something. It was really old school, and I don't know why. That game, it was like 16-bit. It looked like it can run on a calculator. I don't know why, but that made my computer like completely freak out. I don't know if it was like not optimized or whatever. There was this one game. It was like a demo. It was like a really short demo, like a half-hour demo, and it made my computer super loud. And I checked my like GPU usage. Usually it's like 20%, but this demo, which was like a half hour, it was some kind of art demo. It wasn't really a game, and my GPU usage was like 80%. It was like nuts, and it looked like a game you can run on your calculator, right? It looked pretty bad, and my computer was just freaking out. So there's like three. So as far as I know, there's about 3 to 4 games that made my computer freak out. Those free demos, and this like 16-bit game, which is funny. I never had that problem before. Usually you can run a 16-bit game on anything, but yeah. So I don't know what's happening there. Anyways, when I noticed this demo was using like 100% of my computer, I just stopped playing it. I was like, I'm not gonna risk my computer for this demo. So the first thing I want to talk about was I haven't made a video in a while. The second thing I want to talk about was I never played a Total War game. I just started getting into 4X. I'm starting to like the 4X genre. And third thing was my computer's like blowing up every time I play this. Now I'm starting to get why my computer is blowing up when I play this. When you start up the game, Immortal Empires. When you start up Immortal Empires, there's 250 AIs you have to go up against, and 250 AIs is absolutely crazy. And they all have their own like cutscenes. They have their own gear. Each guy has their own gear. They have their own mechanics. They use their. I'll give the AI one thing. They actually use their special abilities. They use their powers correctly, which is pretty impressive. It's like there's a lot going on in this game. So, but yeah. So when you start this up, there's like 250 bad guys you have to fight, and usually by turn 10, I would say. It goes from 250 to about 200, and around, I don't know, turn 40, it goes down to like 140 computers you have to fight. Every like 30 churns, it would go down by, I want to say 30. That makes sense. But yeah, every like 30 churns or so, it would go down by that much. And eventually it becomes easier and easier to play. But then again, the empires get massive. The size of like continents. You get like these continent-sized empires. So it's pretty crazy start to finish. There's also another thing I want to talk about is these quest battles. These quest battles I think are awesome. But they do require you to be like the best. You can't really make mistakes during these. These quest battles are actually really difficult. But I find them really interesting. They're like cinematic. They're like there's a story behind them, and the reward for these is you get like a special gear for your guy, like a new sword, and this sword is like the best you can get. So these quest battles you can't really skip them because you get like the best weapon. Now they're really hard, but they're the same every time, right? You get the same quest every time. So they're very, very difficult, but if you know what you're doing, it's doable. So I do think the quest battles are pretty cool. What else is there to talk about? Alright, so I want to express to you guys how I feel about this game. And I feel a lot. So the first thing, there's a lot I want to get off my chest. So I do think it's silly that blood, if you want to see blood in this game, it's actually DLC. I think that's pretty silly. It's like a $3 DLC, but if you want to see like carnage and just blood everywhere, that's behind a paywall. I think that's kind of silly. I think they did that to get past like certain rules. It was definitely some kind of like to get past some kind of law or something. It was kind of like some kind of loophole. But yeah, I think it's kind of silly that blood's behind a paywall. And this update, you can see his update here. This update came out, I think, yesterday. So they're updating this game all the time. The next thing I want to talk about, I have a lot. This is a big game. Normal story mode takes like 10 hours or more. And it's basically impossible to beat 250 empires. It's just not going to happen. And you don't start out the game as number one. Someone else is already number one. And that guy just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And becomes gigantic. So it's pretty much impossible to actually like beat the game. As far as I can tell. The closest I got was like 5th strongest empire. And that's with like 2 continents of land. I was still nowhere close to number one. I think I lost to pirates. Pirates ended up beating me. Alright, so the next thing I want to talk about, this one's kind of personal. So when I make YouTube videos, I usually stop and break down what's happening, the high level plays, and give people advice and tips and explain what's going on. I'm like, okay, he used this ability here, that makes sense. Or he teleported there, that makes sense. And then he bought this guy to counter that guy. So I try to break down what's happening in Dawn of War Soulstorm. And there's actually a lot of similarities between Dawn of War Soulstorm and this game. It has like the same controls. So if you did play Dawn of War Soulstorm, you can probably play this. Another game I want to compare this game to is actually Endless Space 2. Endless Space 2 is a 4X game made by a much smaller company. I'm pretty sure Creative Assembly is like 2 to 3 times strong. I'm pretty sure Creative Assembly is like 3 times bigger than the guys who made Endless Space 2. So Endless Space 2 is also a 4X game. You don't really fight in that game. It's like moving pictures. So the only thing you can look at is the planets. And they did a really good job on the planets. But anyways, there's not a whole lot to look at in that game. But I do want to compare it to Soulstorm. I do want to compare it to Endless Space 2 because that's my experience. So this one's personal. As someone who like stops the video and breaks things down, I just want to say I'm not a fan of the in-game like teacher. So in the tutorial you have your brother like teaching you how to play, and I thought he was alright. He was a okay guy. Still not a huge fan of the tutorial. It's kind of boring, and to be honest, if you play so something I want to get off my chest as a player. So you start out with Kislov, and sorry about that. I'm having like stomach issues. Anyways, so you start the game out as Kislov, and your brother like teaches you how to play. And what's really annoying about this is if you play actual Kislov, if you play actual Kislov, which is here, so you can see here, this is what actual Kislov looks like. And everything the game teaches you is kind of useless. So basically what I had to do was I had to like research like crazy. I looked at posts, I watched other people's gameplay, because I could not figure out this game for the life of me. So I think the teaching part of this game is just absolutely god-awful. And that's coming from someone who makes those teaching videos, or like how to play, stuff like that. So I really do think the way this game teaches you how to play is absolutely god-awful trash. So if we go back to the tutorial, whoops. So if we go back to the tutorial, so I think the building is fine. Like they teach you how to build stuff, that's fine. They don't really teach you how to play Kislov though, and I'll just say this is gonna be the short version. This is just gonna be this is a very complicated game, so I'm trying to get my words in my head. So this is gonna be the short version. Everything I learned in the tutorial, I basically just threw it in the trash because it did not help at all. It didn't help in the slightest. So I just want to throw that out there. Now I do think this tutorial is fun. It was a blast to play. I will say that. This tutorial was an absolute blast to play. But I will say everything you'll learn in this tutorial, if you are a new player, I just threw all that in the trash. And then you have Realms of Chaos. So this one is 250 computers. This one is about 80. So this one's much smaller, and this one's I think less than a continent, I would say. So this one has like 3 continents. This one has like half a continent, so it's on a much smaller scale. It's much easier. So, but it doesn't make it. I'll say this: Realms of Chaos is really bad. It's super bad. It's extremely bad. So the first bad thing is there's like a timer. So your goal is to beat all the demons, and that unlocks the final demon. And the computer can also do this. The computer can also beat all the demons and just beat the game before you do. And I think that's stupid. So this does say campaign, right? Not multiplayer. I think it's stupid that if it's multiplayer, I think it's fine if someone beats me to the ending. But when it comes to solo play, I think it's silly that the computer can beat you to the final boss. So I think that's really silly. I think Realms of Chaos is just absolutely god-awful. It's fun. It was fun like the first 2 times. The first 2 times I did this was actually pretty fun. So, what makes Realms of Chaos awful is, to me, the cards are just so stacked against you. You start out with 1 city and the turn limit. And one thing I want to say about this game, Total War 3, after doing like all the campaigns back to back, I did like all the campaigns. This game is not balanced, like at all. Not even close. Let me give a couple examples. So Kislov campaign was actually doable. I beat it. Not too bad, I would say. Then you have Nurgle. So Nurgle takes like 10 turns to get their buildings going, and there's no way to like speed that up. So Nurgle is always like 10 to 20 turns behind. But Nurgle is powerful. I will say that Nurgle is extremely powerful. But he's always like 20 turns behind. And this makes the race like impossible. So I really don't think you can even win the race as him. I think you can kill everybody as Nurgle, but I really think you can't win the race. There's just no way. Corn was actually a breeze. Corn was an absolute breeze. So with Corn, you have to kill all your neighbors, and I did that very easily. Now Corn, the way it works is you get money and skulls every time you kill somebody, and you basically have to kill you have to get a kill every turn. That's basically how Corn works. And if you don't get a kill every turn, he's useless. If you get a kill every turn, Corn is unstoppable. But the moment you don't get a kill, he's trash. He's absolute garbage. So you need like a kill streak with Corn. And this made killing your neighbors very easy because they were all right next to me. But it made the race like impossible because you have to stop killing to do like, let's say there's a puzzle. You have to stop killing to do the puzzle, right? So to me, doing the race as him was super hard. It was extremely difficult to do the race as him. Killing people was no problem. Kill streaks, no problem. But actually doing the race was really, really hard. It was super hard. The moment you have to stop killing, do like a side quest, he just becomes so weak. let me try that again. The moment he stops killing, he becomes very weak. He becomes very like fragile. So he becomes like kind of garbage. When it comes to killing his neighbors, excellent. When it comes to like stopping and doing something else, to me he's like garbage. So he's not really a quest guy. So this made the timer, the churn timer, huge pain in the ass. Demons of Chaos. So this is a direct sequel to the tutorial. After you do the tutorial, I think you're supposed to do this, because that's the next step in the story. So if you do the Lost God tutorial, this is the next step. And winning with him is absolutely impossible. It's actually impossible to win with this guy. It's insane. It's absolutely insane how terrible he is. He is absolutely garbage. He's just garbage at absolutely everything. So this is another guy. This is another guy with a very slow start, and he doesn't really speed up. He doesn't really do anything. He just kind of has this slow start forever, and he's just he's just garbage. He is so garbage. From what I heard, people have been saying he's garbage for years. So I guess he's just been garbage since like day one. But yeah, you just cannot win with him. So Corn can take out his neighbors, no problem. This guy can't even. He can't even do that. This guy absolutely cannot take out his neighbors. He's absolutely garbage. So I do agree. What's funny is this is like the sequel to the tutorial. You're supposed to play this guy, and he is just absolutely garbage. It's hard to explain just how bad he is. I think his starting, if you look at his starting army, I think the starting army is actually fine. But to have the starting army, you need at least 4 buildings, 1 for every god. And getting those 4 buildings up, 1 for each god, is actually really hard. So, and once the starting army dies, once these starting people die, it's really hard to replace them. So this guy is just absolutely garbage. So anyways, what was my point? So my point is, story mode is not balanced at all. Not even close. Not even like in the slightest. This is not balanced. I think Nurgle can't win because he has that slow start. Korn can't win because the second he stops killing, he sucks. Kislov is like in the middle. I think Kislov is doable, but not really. So I don't think this game is balanced like in the slightest. Now let's talk about Immortal Empires. And again, I really do think the way this game teaches you things is terrible. So I don't recommend, if you're playing this for the first time or doing research or whatever, I really don't recommend, whatever the game tells you, just don't do it. Like, the teaching is just absolutely god-awful.
Empire's blessings, yes.
So this is Immortal Empires. To me, this is slightly more balanced because this is like a free-for-all and anything goes. So to me, this is slightly more balanced. This is slightly less ass. So the game wants you to start out with the Empire. The Empire is kind of trash. I would say the Empire is kind of a trash race. And the Empire story mode is actually really hard because you have to fight everybody. You have to fight vampires, demons, everybody. So
I command here.
I found the Empire campaign extremely difficult. And something I learned, so this is your starting army, and your starting army never really gets stronger than that. This is like the strongest you can get it. The Empire kind of sucks. But anyways, so yeah, I don't think the game's all that balanced. I will say he was fun. This was dipping my toes in the Total War for the first time. He was pretty fun. And then, so let me give you guys a ranking on fun. This is my 2 cents. And I'll just start from the top and go down towards the bottom. Britannia.
Champion of the lady.
Britannia is weird. I think this guy here is extremely overpowered, but everything else is ass. So he is like stupid overpowered, but this is absolutely garbage. Also, the second you start up this campaign, there's like 100 people attacking you, and I don't know. So this is a turn game. You can maybe attack two people. You can attack the guy to your left and right, and that's it. And as soon as this game starts, there's like 100 people attacking you from all directions. And I really do not understand for the life of me how you're supposed to win this. I really don't get it. So I played as this guy for a while, and as soon as everyone attacked me, I just gave up. Oh yeah, there is one thing I want to touch on. So this game is absolutely ass at teaching you how to play. It's kind of anti-player. So if you hit this button here, unit and spell browser. If you click on this button here, unit and spell browser, this actually teaches you how to play. So if I click on this, there's a ton of information, right? Just an absolute crap ton of information. But this actually teaches you how to play. So let me click on a guy. Let me click on this guy, okay? So this shows you his stat card. And this is the only real This stat card right here is basically the only way to play the game. It's the only way to learn the game. So you can see here, shielded, and it explains what shielded is. Expendable, it shows you what expendable is. Poor leadership, like it actually explains how the game works. And if I hover over these numbers, it actually explains what these numbers do. So this right here, it actually teaches you. This is how you play the game. You have to read all of this, and honestly, you probably have to memorize it to actually play the game. And this teaches you what you need. So, example. So this guy here has 34 defense, melee defense. That's pretty good. Let's look at this guy here. He's got... His numbers are pretty bad. But you can see here he has charged defense. Charged defense is actually really handy. It's super, super useful. Then you have this guy here. Let's see. I'm not really sure what this is. I never seen this guy before. And then you have pole arms. This guy and the spear guy is pretty much the same. Hold on, let me find like an actual... Okay. So this guy here is pretty unique. He's got armor piercing. He's anti-infantry. He's a damage dealer. So basically, you want this guy on your he's more of a frontline guy. You want this guy in the front, and he'll just kill everything. So this is your main damage dealer. He's just a guy with a sword. You know, he's just a normal guy with a sword, and he'll go out there and kill everything. So this actually teaches you how to play. And so this guy here is tier 2. You can see here he's tier 2. He's got 70 armor, 28 attack. Now if we go back, this guy has about the same attack, but he has much less armor, and he has much less a lot of things. So you can see here he's just a direct upgrade basically. He's a direct upgrade of the tier 1 unit. And this here is how I learned the game, by just memorizing all this stuff. And that's basically how I learned the game. And then you have spells. This is probably the best part of the game. So spells, they show you a video. If you look at here, they show you a video, and they actually explain what the spell does. Isn't that cool? They actually like show you what it does. They show you a video, right? Now let me go back to the tutorial, like the actual real tutorial. Does a tutorial do that? Does it show you? Does it explain the spells? Does it explain the abilities? Not really. Does a tutorial teach you how units work? One guy has a shield. So one guy is defense, right? He's got a shield. One guy is anti-defense. He's got piercing. So you have defense and anti-defense. Does it teach you that? No, not really. So again, everything that the tutorial teaches you, you pretty much just want to throw that in the trash. So yeah, this is honestly how I learned the game.
Bring me to my
I just had to memorize actually everything.
and honor.
I basically just memorized this for every faction. And you might be wondering, how do you memorize this and then memorize, you know, let's say you need to memorize this.
As I hold
Let's say you need to memorize, like, try memorizing all of this, right? How do you memorize all of that? And the answer is I didn't. But when you start combat, it tells you exactly who's good at what. So example, if I have this halberd guy, let's say I have this halberd guy out in the field. If I click on him, a bunch of red triangles will pop up, and these red triangles say, "Don't attack. Don't attack this guy." And the green triangles will say, "Okay, you can attack this guy." So no, I did not memorize all of this. But what I did was, when the green triangle popped up, I was like, oh, I should attack that guy with halberdiers. Halberdiers can actually do damage to that guy. So I basically just looked at the triangles and clicked on the green ones, and that's how I played the game. So I'm like 180 hours into the game, and that's what I did. And it took me a long time to even realize the green triangles were even there. I thought for sure you had to actually memorize everything, but it turns out you just look at the triangles. It tells you exactly what to do. And yeah. Next thing I want to talk about, I'll talk about this too. I'll talk about like stealth. So if I look at, is it this guy? Okay, so this guy can hide in a forest. It's that small eyeball symbol right there. It's extremely easy to miss. It's very, very, very easy to miss. But this guy can hide in a forest, and you can actually stealth around your opponent. And it took me a ton of hours before I realized how the game worked. I had to like play it over and over and again before I figured out how the game actually worked. So this symbol means they can hide in the forest. So for these guys, the forest is actually good. You want to hide in the trees. Now some units get hurt by trees, so you have to memorize like what unit is tree friendly and what unit actually gets hurt by trees. So these guys here, this guy, you actually need line of sight. You need to be able to see the guy. You need to see what you're shooting, right? So trees are actually bad for this guy. You don't want to, you know, he needs to see the target and shoot the target. So you don't really want him around trees. So you have people here who like trees and people here are bad against trees, right? If that makes sense. And trees are really only in the middle of the map. The other maps are like desert and water and ice and all that. So there's only like 2 places that actually have trees, but it does come in handy. So when it comes to fun, so first thing I want to say about this game, I don't think this game is balanced in the slightest. When it comes to like buffs and nerfs, I don't really understand that stuff, but I just know that this game is absolutely not balanced in the slightest. When it comes to fun, I just really like the Skaven. This guy here was the most fun I had in a long time. In my like 160-hour run or whatever, my 160-hour playtime, this guy was just absolutely fun, and I just love Skaven. Skaven are super fun.
Vengeance of Clan Pestilence.
These guys are just, if you ask me, Skaven are just an absolute blast to play.
Sigma's will.
So I think Skaven, if you ask me, Skaven are just, they're just fun start to finish. They're so much fun to play as. And yeah, that's basically my take on this game. I don't really think it's player friendly because it just does a terrible job at teaching you, and it does have its high moments and its low moments. So for an example, so this guy here was super fun. I really enjoyed playing as him. This guy here kind of sucked. This guy here is kind of ass. So this guy here was not as fun, in my opinion. So, and then I do think Nurgle was fun. Nurgle was super fun. Super slow start, but once he starts going, he's really strong. So I thought he was really fun. Evidemus was not fun at all. Evidemus is just, he is not fun to play as at all. I had such a terrible time playing as him. He is just so not fun. So Nurgle, super fun. Really enjoyed him. Epidemus, not fun, like in the slightest. I don't think he's fun like at all. So yeah, I think basically my experience in this game is just all over the place. Sometimes it's super fun, like I'm having a total blast, and sometimes I'm just having a terrible time. One guy I actually really enjoyed was I actually really enjoyed this guy. This is like the final boss in this world. This entire world is scared of this guy. Everybody is like scared shitless of this guy, like the entire universe. And playing as him was a total blast. He was super fun. He was a complete blast to play. I still lost because everyone declared war on me instantly. I had to fight literally everyone. But he was an absolute blast to play. Super fun. Just this is a guy where if everyone declares war on you, it's actually not that bad. But if you're the humans, whoops. Anyways, if you're the humans and they declare and all the bad guys declare war on you, it sucks. It's not fun. It's not fun at all. So my levels of fun is just all over the place. I will say I'm more of a casual player. I'm like a casual to like a medium player. So anything that's hard and complicated, I'm not a fan of it. Especially in this game. There's really no reason for it to be complicated. Let's say you're a human starting out next to a demon. I don't think you have to memorize like 50 things to play the game. I think memorizing 50 things to play the game is silly. So I don't know. I'll let this I'm gonna go back to the main menu and I think I'll finish. I think I made my point. So let me start over and just say it again. Game is not balanced. I don't think in the slightest. I do think everything has a weak point though. Every faction has some kind of weak point. You know, they put some kind of weakness. It's weird. It's a very weird. It doesn't matter. It's just like everything. Like, it's just really silly. So, but again, I think this game has this absolute high moments, and then the absolute low moments. The high moment is really just a good fight. If you can find a good fight in this game, I think that's the high point of everything. That's the high point of the game. Just a really, really, really good fight. Winning honestly kind of sucks because there's nothing left to do. There's no goal. You won. You did everything. So winning kind of sucks. Losing sucks because you get outnumbered and just outplayed. And I always have this game on easy mode. I never turned it off. And I just get absolutely outplayed by everyone. It becomes annoying after a while. I think I'll just quit to the main menu. If you want to give this guy a try, he's actually not too bad. This is not a bad campaign.
No escape from the Dark Master.
Alright, I just want to say this. I absolutely hate the teaching. The teaching is so god awful. It's so ass. So I think this is ass. How they play. I think this is absolutely ass. And I think the old man is ass. I don't know if the old man's gonna show up here, but I think the old man is absolutely ass. Hold on. Does the old man show up?
Glory awaits. Belacor.
Hold on. I think the old man is just absolutely ass.
The first. Your death will be inconsequential. Execute.
Does the old man show up or no?
The acquisition of land
The old man is
the
ass.
surest path to supremacy in war. Through territorial gains comes great wealth and the power to raise forces to defend it. Expand your burgeoning state and deny your enemies the room to do likewise.
So the old man is total ass. Just ignore everything he says. He is completely useless. He is just total ass. And what's funny is he's like the selling point of the game. When you start the game up, you'll see him like everywhere. He's like the main character in Total War 3. And man, I'm not a huge fan of this guy. And again, these right here, this text telling you how the game works, absolutely garbage. This does such a terrible job at teaching you how to play. I really do think they need to change this. They need to change this. The old guy sucks. They need to change. Wait, isn't there a button that shows you like how they play? Well, anyways, there's supposed to be a button that shows you like all their stuff, like a list of all their abilities. This right here is pretty useful. I think this is much more useful than the actual old guy. The old guy is just absolutely god awful. I can't like express how awful he is. I might turn him off. You have the option to turn him off. He is so goddamn annoying. That's coming from someone who never really played Warhammer Fantasy before and never played Total War before. As someone who's never played that before, he is just absolutely garbage. I think that campaign there is actually pretty fun. If you want to give that a go. I think that one there is fine. Like I didn't have any like issues with it. But yeah. So I do recommend. I'm not a huge fan of the tutorial. I'm not a huge fan of Realm of Chaos. Realm of Chaos is kind of stupid. And what's funny is Realm of Chaos is like the real story mode. This is the actual story mode, and it's so garbage. And then you have this, which is just a free for all. You can do whatever you want. I think they actually did a pretty good job on this, the free for all part. And then you have the story quests. You can do these story quests right here, and these are actually a total blast to play. I actually really enjoy these. They are really hard, but I do think they're a total blast. I really recommend this. So that's basically how I feel about the game. It needs changes for sure. It absolutely needs changes. It 100%. It's not perfect. So that's my thoughts as a new player. That's my thoughts as I would say I'm completely green. My only real experience is Endless Space 2 and Dawn of War Soulstorm. This game also has that rock paper scissors system where scissors beats paper. This has the same system inside it. But yeah. Anyways, that's basically my thoughts on the game. I do recommend it. I recommend parts of it. How about that? I recommend parts of this game. I don't recommend like the full package. And another thing I want to add before I end the video, you kind of need Warhammer 2, because Warhammer 2 unlocks a good chunk of the game. So if you are going to play Total War 3, you pretty much need Total War 2. A good chunk of this game is locked by... You pretty much need Total War 2. Like, half the game is locked. You need the second game, too. If you buy the second game, Total War 2, a good chunk of Total War 3 gets unlocked. If that makes sense. But yeah, anyways, if you are gonna play this game for the first time, I much recommend like a human teacher, because the in-game teacher is just total ass. But I really don't mind the brother. I thought the brother right here, you get it like a brother. I thought the brother was fine. He was alright. He was a good teacher. I just think these two here are total ass at teaching you on how to play. And I really do think everything they teach you in the tutorial, you just gotta throw that in the garbage. You really do. But yeah, that's my thoughts on the game. I've been talking for a long time. One last thing I want to add is I'm making this video because I think I am done with this game. I'm kind of done with all the... it's not perfect. It absolutely needs work. Especially like the AI. I think the AI needs work. There's so many things in this game that needs changed. I think this game is kind of this game looks beautiful, but I really do think this game's kind of a mess. I do recommend it, maybe on sale. But yeah, I think this game is kind of a mess. But that's like my final thoughts. I might be wrong on everything, but yeah, let me know. But yeah, the way I had to learn the game, like this is, I didn't use like a. It took me a while before I resorted to watching someone else play. I just looked at those unit sheets, unit cards, or whatever you want to call them. I just kind of like memorized that, which wasn't easy. It was really hard to memorize like 50 units and their numbers. That's basically how I played the game. So yeah. Now when it comes to gameplay, I really do think you can do whatever you want. There's no real right way to play someone. As someone who has like 180 hours, there's really no right or wrong way to play humans. There's no right or wrong way to play demons. You can really just go wild and do whatever you want. But yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna end the video. I've been talking for who knows how long. This is probably a garbage video by now. But yeah, I'm making this video because I really wanted to get all this stuff off my chest. This is really how I feel about the game. I just really want to get it off my chest. I will most likely go back to Dawn of War Soulstorm. I think Dawn of War Soulstorm actually has better mods. So I just kind of want to do that. But yeah, that's my final thoughts. I'm Magic Man Scott 40K. This is kind of me like ranting about the game, and hopefully someone out there enjoyed it. But yeah, if you want to play this game for the first time, I would 100% recommend like a human player or some kind of gameplay video, because I don't recommend the actual game teaching. So yeah, those are my final thoughts. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.